Beautiful people. My name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space on all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Sunday. We actually have a thought piece scheduled to drop soon, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you are looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we've provided you with access to a few links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today's topic of discussion is mental health. On the topic of mental health this week, we're covering our second part in our 2-part series around mental health and pain, and how there are healthy pains that we need to lean into to enable our growth and evolution, and there are unhealthy pains that are truly a signal of us needing to respond in a way that honors ourselves and cutting away from what does not serve us. And any pain that has nothing to do with building you up, with helping you to evolve into the 2.0 version of you, with helping you to break out of your comfort zone and step into a new normal that's helping you to level up, isn't unhealthy pain. But I'm going to try to qualify, in my opinion, what I think are the top 3 unhealthy pains that we need to veer very far away from. And so the first one is going to be a 2-in-1, because I think they go well in hand together, and that's the pain that we can be subject to by other people if we're subject to domestic, psychological, and emotional harm. And so if you're someone who is enduring punishment from someone else, any form of punishment that someone feels inclined to subject you to, like whether it's emotional, psychological, mental, and physical harm, like if someone feels that they have the onus or the right to do that to you, then I would say that that's the kind of pain you stay away from. If you're in a position in your life where you can choose to not engage with someone who decides to behave that way, who decides to be punitive, and the way that they respond to what they don't like, and the way that they respond to your behavior, then I would say that if someone feels inclined to subject you to that kind of harm, any period of time is really inappropriate, especially that that's just their nature. Like they just want to punish you, and they want to subjugate you, and they want to humiliate you, and they want to degrade you, then that's the kind of pain I would stay completely away from. If you feel shamed and completely destroyed by it, right? And even if you don't feel shamed or destroyed by it, if you don't consent to it, if you are asking for that person to not behave that way with you, if it hurts you and if it hurts your feelings and you don't see the value in it, like it's not helping you in any way, shape, or form, then that's a pain that you stay away from. That's not a pain that you adjust to, that you allow yourself to feel like is normal. And a lot of us, we normalize this kind of behavior because maybe we grew up in environments where this was okay. So it's easier for us to kind of blend into environments or relationships where where that is the norm. But a lot of us, we get broken down. It's the death by a million cuts, where each cut gets a little bit deeper and they start becoming a little bit more bold and aggressive with the way that they treat you. And so this kind of pain, if it's someone really going out of their way to intentionally inflict physical, emotional, psychological injury on you, absolutely stay away from this pain. This pain does not serve you. If you do not consent to this pain, if there's no part of you that enjoys being subjected to this pain, then this pain is a absolute no on this channel. Like, that is not a pain that we'll ever advocate for. And so another pain that I feel does not serve you is the pain that comes with people who feel comfortable with mishandling you. And so this comes with trust, this comes with relationships as well, but this is less extreme than the first example. So this is more so the relationships we decide to keep and the relationships we decide to outgrow. And so there are different kinds of relationships that are toxic for very different reasons. And I find like one of the reasons that is a thread that I can weave across many cultures is if you're in a relationship with someone who lies to you, who feels comfortable betraying you, who feels comfortable betraying your trust, who feels comfortable making you feel exposed and unsafe and uncomfortable with the information you share with them. These kinds of people, like the pain that they subject you to is not a pain that is going to serve you in the long run. So I think if you find that you are socializing with people who are not trustworthy people, if you don't feel like you can be yourself, if you feel like being your authentic self is going to be a serious risk to you, then that's a pain that does not serve you. And a lot of us, we get comfortable in uncomfortable situations. We allow ourselves to feel like we have to bend and mold to the people that we're sharing space with. And I'm here to say that absolutely not. I have accommodated much too much toxic behavior in my lifetime. And I realize that when you accommodate someone who's comfortable betraying your trust, it only gets worse from there, right? And it's not even that you have to worry or that you censor yourself and you sort of protect them by not telling them information. Where they don't have information, they will just create information. That's what I have found in my experience. So people who are comfortable betraying anyone's trust, who are comfortable lying, who are comfortable slandering and gossiping, like that's the kind of pain that you don't need to network with. Like, you don't need to build relationships with those kinds of individuals. And that's a pain I would stay very far away from. And so a third pain that I want to talk about that is a pain that is not healthy, similar to when you're working out and you feel that electric pain that tells you, hey, stop, you're like pushing a little bit too hard, is the pain that comes when you need to adjust some of your own plans, right? And sometimes, like for me, I believe that growth is pain, no gain. But sometimes the pain that you're experiencing, like if you're feeling so much mental and emotional strain from the cadence that you've established, from the timelines that you've established, if it's causing you to not perform in the areas where you're typically performant in, then you need to dial down the intensity. And I think that sometimes it's really just about the intensity. We can go hard, we can go big, we can go home, but only if it doesn't mean that we're dropping the balls that we already have in the air, right? If we already have balls in the air, we need to stay performing with those balls in the air, then the cadence that you establish allows you to do the things that you have to do, that you're doing right now, while you're adapting and creating room for the things that you want to do. So as you transition from the you are now to the new that you want to be in the future, you need to be very mindful as to how your body responds to the intensity that you put on yourself, and then adjust that intensity mindfully, right? You adjust that intensity so that you give yourself the opportunity to be successful without breaking down. And I believe that we are limitless human beings, that we can do everything and anything, but we cannot skip stages. We have to go through the stage and phase, and we cannot skip levels. We level up one step at a time. So as you think about your cadence and your intensity, give yourself the grace to do things one step at a time. We're not going to cut corners. We're not going to take shortcuts. We're going to do things the right way. We're going to do things the hard way. We're going to establish the discipline, and we're not going to carve away years of our lives in the process. And I think too many of us want the results so quickly that we hurt ourselves to get them. And I am someone who does not believe in that method of working. For me, I am very much the tortoise. Slow and steady wins the race. And I have met a lot of people where success was at the cost of their mental health, at the cost of their emotional health, at the cost of their physical health, their physical well-being, at the cost of their relationships, in an unhealthy way. Sometimes success means you cut away from toxic relationships, but maybe they lost really healthy relationships at the cost of their success. You need to recognize what things success should not cost. And if they're costing you those things, then you need to adjust your intensity to be more accommodating of your own well-being. And I think too many of us discount that our well-being matters when it comes to the goals that you want to attain. So when you're setting goals keeping in mind that you need to rest, that you need to eat, that you need to socialize, that you need to spend time with your family, with your friends. All of those need to be taken into consideration as you think about the timeline of the goals that you would like to put in place. So yeah, that's really, really very important. And then I think another area where pain is something that I would really put additional attention to is when you feel that the environment that you're in is hurting you, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be a specific person. It doesn't necessarily need to be a specific circumstance or situation, but it could just be the pain that comes with being so far in your comfort zone and needing growth so badly that the stagnation is what's really breaking you down. But that fear, there's a certain fear that can be very crippling. And that's the kind of pain that I don't want anyone to get comfortable with. The kind of pain that comes with settling, with being complacent, with being immobile when you know you have to move, when you know that there's a dream that you want to attain, where there's another place you would rather be, when you know that like there's something about where you are right now that is suffocating you and just accommodating feeling suffocated and feeling paralyzed and feeling trapped in your space is just something that too many of us just normalize. And I think that that's just something that we don't want to normalize. We don't want to make normal the feeling of being trapped when all of us have it within us to live our best lives, to do the courageous thing, the bold thing, the risky thing. It doesn't matter who and what and where and why and when and all the opinions that it is going to create if you know it's going to give you that sense of inner fulfillment and of course what's most important, that alignment. So those are the 4 that I wanted to mention in today's video. There's definitely like more areas where pain is just not something that we should accommodate, but I think that these 4 are like very, very top of mind for me. They're the 4 areas of pain where I'm always just being aware of, being cognizant of, and adjusting, because I don't think that these kinds of pains are healthy for anybody. But if you want to know the pains that I do think are healthy, again, check out the video that we do have linked to the first video that we dropped this week, and you can hear about the healthy pain. But in this video, we're talking about what's unhealthy, like what we should not create room for to serve ourselves in order to honor and respect ourselves in thought, belief, as well as action. So that was the topic for today, short and sweet, hopefully helpful to you. Now, before letting you go, I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that we will be going live at least twice a month, every month for the foreseeable future on our Facebook page. So definitely be sure to tune in. Now, these events are paid events, so if you do see yourself participating in our community on an ongoing basis, and I do suggest that you take a look at one of our package plans. Yes, so we do offer package plans over and above our live events, as well as access to webinars and workshops, largely focused on self-mastery over and above those events. So check it out. Be part of our game changer community, being part of the change that you want to see, allowing us a small role to play in your journey. We are on the road to 1K, so we do invite you to follow us across all of our social media platforms, and we look forward to chatting with all of you very soon. We'll talk to you later.